Hi everyone, welcome to our 12 days of Christmas. We had so much fun doing that for you last year, where we showed you a project every day that you could do, and it's just freebies. Most of them don't even have written instructions. Just watch the video and you'll be ready to go. So today, for day one, we're making rope coasters. But even for the guys, you know how hard it is to find something for them. There's camo paracord rope coaster. Probably took 10 minutes to make. I have one started that is white. This is solid white. And if you're worried about your zigzags, don't, because if you look at this, you can't even see my stitches. Now, the one we're doing today does have colored stitches, so you can see what I'm doing. So let's get started. All right, let's look at what we need for our rope coasters that we're going to be making. And this is a quick little, easy to make Christmas gift that you can make up or make them for yourself. So let's look at the different ropes. I've brought the most common. This is just plain clothesline cord. It is a cotton cord, but it has a polyester core. So literally it's cotton wrapped polyester. So you'd want to be careful. If you had something extremely hot, you might melt through it, but I don't think just a cup of cocoa is going to do that. The others I have to show you, they are poly. I have used them as coasters. I wouldn't recommend any of them in a microwave. Don't know why you would need to, but let me just give that disclaimer. But the pretty white cords, when you buy cotton, it's natural. And for some things, it looks nice. In fact, I have one here that one of our customers made for us and brought, and she used the natural, and it's beautiful. But for these today, I'm going to be using a solid white. I ordered this off of Amazon because I wanted the white, and just the local places I get it didn't seem to have it. But I've picked up in Walmart, Harbor Freight. Anytime when we go on vacation, they have those tool shops at the outlets. Go and look for the paracord. This is the same thing they use in camping for the stakes on the tents, but also the rock climbing, and there are different sizes. So, even for the guys, check this out. We have a really nice camo print, which I thought was cool and be making for some of the guys in the family. So, those are the things you need. Of course, your rope is the main thing, but you're also going to need a 90-14 needle. I prefer a top stitch needle. This is going through really thick, and you do need to slow it down, but your regular 80-12s I think would just bend too quickly. So my suggestion is a 90-14 and a 90-14 top stitch. If you have it, is even better than regular 90-14. You'll need just your general purpose J-foot or a zigzag foot on your machine, and be able to make a zigzag stitch. That's all you need to get this done. Our first step is to get the end of the rope. This has it's been melted. It is nylon or poly, so you melt that end, just warm it a little bit, because we don't want it to fray out in the center, especially since this is a coaster. Now, if you're making rope bowls and covering with fabric, you don't have to worry about that step. But this one, we have it ready, and we're just going to make a circle. And as you can see, you just start. And yes, it's going to look a little oval at first, and you're going to think, oh, she said a circle. It's okay. Let me put a pin in it. Some people use glue, and you can even use like Elmer's glue. Elmer's craft glue is wonderful. It is still pliable when it dries. I just don't like sewing over it. Sometimes it can gum the needle, so I would rather start by pinning. And it's best to make a couple of loops. And then what I do, I just stick a pin in it. And I usually stick myself a few times, but that's just the way it is. And then as I get around to the one that I had pinned, pull that pin out. And as you go around, put it back in there. And I do this, keep doing this, until we get it big enough to start stitching. Now we're ready to start zigzagging our coaster. I have set my machine. I've put my 9014 top stitch needle in. And for my stitches, I'm in the utility stitches on this beautiful Vision Solaris machine. It is stitch number 1-10. Now, I changed it. When that comes up, you're going to have a very tiny zigzag. I open it up to a width of 5 and a length of 2. This is a preference thing, depending on what you're making and how big your rope is. Your zigzag just has to be wide enough that it's going to touch both ropes. If not, it's not going to join. Again, I'm using a variegated thread on here, but for an actual coaster, I would probably use white so it wouldn't show, because I like to put embroidery in the center of it. And for this first, when you're working in the center, it's a little tricky. You have to keep turning to make sure you're staying between the two. Once we get to the outer edges, it'll be easier and go quicker. And also, if you have a machine with a knee pedal, it comes in very handy. And make sure you pull these pins out before you get too far, and you don't want to stitch them inside your coaster. It would not be more reinforcement, I promise. And if you accidentally skip a row, you can always go back and fill it in. Now, as you're going around, we're beyond the pins. We had to remove those. So now, if you're going around and your outer pieces are kind of wiggling away from you, you can always use the clips. This is a small one. A bigger one would probably be better, but you can always clip those together if you need to. I prefer just doing it by hand and holding it, but if it was my first one starting out, I might be using some clips and longer ones. Just a little clip tip there. On mug rugs it tells you sizes, but what I usually do is just get my favorite mug, set it on there. If it's big enough, then I'm ready to start closing it up. And I'm gonna let this be the size. I think we're good. I'm going to clip it off. Now, this is still loose. I'm not there yet, but let me take it off first. I want to show you some things you can do. So I'm going to stop it for a second, cut it off. For Halloween, I made some, and I made them to look like a cat. We had a cat that was just beautiful, and this gorgeous white cat, the long fur, and I thought, I want to make some cat coasters. So I did like that. Now, I really don't have enough to show you hardly. Let's see. Let's not make his ears so big. Cats don't have big ears. And for that, what I did, I stitched up to this, cut it, stitched across here, like a little bridge, stopped, and stitched this down, and it was the most adorable cat coasters you've ever seen. So, finishing them off, get creative. Fun things you can do. This one, I'm just gonna give it a little twist on the end. And that way you could also hang it up if you wanted to, if you keep your mug in your office or whatever, maybe got a little hook, you could just hang it on that. But you can also finish them off, take it around and bring it to the front, put a cute little button on it. Lots of possibilities. Don't sew your finger. Be sure to remove it. And this one, I will take just a little bit of fabric glue and put it under there. And I have a coaster. Now, as you can see, it's popping open. And you think, oh my goodness, I've ruined it. No, you haven't. It's easy. You stick it back in there and watch this. You could even get creative and do a round on it in green and then maybe put another color. But you have a coaster. And what I will do next, I will embroider a holly leaf or a pine cone. I haven't decided, but we've got some gorgeous designs in our machines to embroider. Even our smallest, our little Aurora, that is a combination sewing and embroidery, you can make these in the 4x4 hoop. So you could just make dozens of these. And what a nice gift that would be. I've also made them larger. They make great hot pads. Just something pretty to set out. And again, any color, make it white. If you don't want to see your stitches, I think I'll even go back and put another row there. But honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Great little fast Christmas gift. And fun to do. Kind of mindless. Listening to the hum of the zigzag. This one is going to be made for my sister. And if you know Sharon, please don't tell her. She's, of course, having a horse birthday. And I'm making her horse coasters when she has her popcorn and tea every night at movie time. So she's getting coasters and some other stuff. So what I wanted you to see, we've hooped it. This is on the new Baby Lock Bloom. This is not the smallest, it's next to it. But this could be done in, if you have the Verve or the new Aurora, this could be done in a 4x4 hoop. I use stick tear stabilizer. I hoop the stabilizer. And then all I have to do is press my coaster onto the stabilizer. It can't get any easier, guys. And then we just press go. And that's all it takes to make these cute little coasters. As I was telling you, you can embroider a simple design, have it solid, make it white, and of course, you know, if you've been in the shop, I keep going and turn these into bowls. So the possibilities are endless. Merry Christmas, everyone.